I'm sure your blocks are also ready, so let's continue. And today we will need 3 pieces of cardstock that has the size of these blocks. And again, this is when you want to be like super precise, because with this cardstock we will imitate the pages, so that the whole surface will be like even. So we have 3 pieces of this big cardstock, and we need 4 pieces of this cardstock, and the size of it is a bit different from the size of the smaller blocks, because we will need some space here in the middle, so that we will be able to open these sections. So you can see that here I have this space, and the size is about 3-4 millimeters smaller than the size of the block, depending on the cover that you will be using. In my case, I will use fabric, and it will not be too thick, so I can make it like 2.5-3 millimeters. If you use leather or something quite thick, then it's better if you make it like 5 millimeters less. We will need some pieces of plastic. I used some packages from my paper collections. The size is a bit bigger than this block. Well, you will see later when we glue them together, you will see how we use them. Also, I prepared 2 pieces of this white fabric. Again, we don't care about these pieces. They will cover, this will be like the basic layer to gather these 2 pieces of cover, and then there will be a decorative layer. In my case, it will be jeans. We start with large blocks. For those who are familiar with bookbinding, I want to say that when you're making these blocks, you can also glue just the spine, and you can leave these pieces of fabric so that you can attach them to the cover, and then you can make a nice leaflet with whatever paper you like. But since many of you don't really know how to deal with this, and I don't want to make it too complicated, so I just left it this way, and instead of some proper designed leaflet, we'll have this page, and I will just glue it like this. I hope you understand what I mean. What I mean is, if you want to have it, let's say, red or whatever, I just have this from some supplier, and you have this flop. Is it flop? Flip, flop? Anyway, and when you just attach it to this cover, then you have this nice leaflet. I don't want to make it too complicated for you, so for now I will just glue it like this, and maybe if you wish, later you will cover this area with some other design paper. I have a bit more of glue here in this area because I will attach it to this side. This is a very important moment, because this is the area that will pretend to be a part of these pages. So we really want this to be glued properly, these edges. Maybe even we should use something like this. Maybe not. They're too small. I don't care much about what's happening here for now. I just do it like this, and that's it. I really do care about what's happening here. We do the same on this side. Actually, it's better to apply some glue right here. Even if there are some pages coming out, it's okay, you will trim them a bit later. Maybe you won't, doesn't really matter. The most important part is this. And again, just a bit of attention to this side. And now the other side, the other way. There are cats screaming outside. I like cats. Everyone likes cats. Just want to remind you that this is the visible area. This is the most important area. Maybe it's better to use some thick glue here. I didn't do that, that's why I'm still playing with it. For this project, I recommend you to have something vintage or shabby looking in your mind, because to be honest, these areas are quite vulnerable. Doesn't mean that you can tear them apart. They're strong and everything. It's just since they're not covered with anything, and since you hopefully will be using this notebook, quite soon you might start losing some paint from here. And just think how it will affect the look of the whole notebook. In my case, I think if I make it already shabby and vintage looking, then it's fine. Anything that happens to these books, it will just add some charm. But if you want it to look, I don't know, modern, I don't think it will work, to be honest. Maybe it will. Maybe it's just a person that likes old stuff is talking here. Okay, we have 2 blocks already arranged. Already looks nice. Dos a dos, they call it. And now it's time for this. You'll have no chance to fix it, whatever is happening here underneath these blocks. So you want to use some nice thick glue in this area, and this one doesn't matter. Just in case, put the other one here so that you can be sure that they fit both, because you might already guess that this area is tricky, since we took some space by using some threads and fabric and glue, so it's a bit wider than these large blocks. You can see that they're coming out a bit. Well, that doesn't really matter because we'll have this cover that will be even bigger, so it will be fine. Just important part that you will fit both of your blocks here, because you might want to make these edges even and then oops, you have too much here. Again, playing with this area just a little bit. We want to make sure that these are glued properly, and also we want to add some glue here in this corner, not to the whole surface but to the very corner. Just like that. I think this is a makeup brush. It's a brush. I don't know what it is. I think I bought this from AliExpress. I will not find any link now, I think, because it's been like 3 years ago or something. And we push it towards this block like really hard, and make sure that these corners are fine. Later you will still have to deal with all this mess that you made when you were using glue. I'm sure you cannot avoid this unless you're like super neat, like here. Again, this is why it's better that your notebook is shabby, so you can say, oh, I meant it. Let's leave it like this. Actually, I want to make it a bit smaller, this gap, this hole. Better. I really like this ruler. I got it from my dad. He died. This piece of metal is actually makes me feel that he's close. I think that you can have like tons of pictures, but only things like this, things that people use, touch, they can make a real memory for you. There is some spirit, I think. So we will do just very same thing here. Maybe it's better if you start from a bit outside and you're just like sliding. Sliding. And check on this side. Yes, correct. A bit deeper, a bit to this side. A bit of attention here. And some glue in this corner. And again, slide. And make sure that the sides are also fine. Here you have to be careful because this is still fresh and damp, so don't open it too much. As you can see, I did not add any glue to put these sides together and to close this hole, because, well, we have to open it somehow. It has to move, it has to be able to move just a little bit at least. So yes, we'll have it, but we'll cover it with paint and it will look nice. And anyway, we will add some more glue here, so they will come closer just a little bit, but we will not close it completely. And the last pieces for now are these covers. Again, this area has to be stronger. Oof. And again, we will slide it to this side this time until we like the result, until it's even with the other edges. After we cover it with fabric, it will still be a bit bigger, so even though it's the most visible area, you don't have to be worried about it too much. Again, I'm a bit messy with the glue, so as soon as you see some glue, please try to wipe it. The less you have, the better it is, the less pages you will damage. And for the third time, this is also when I think, oh, it's nice that I'm pretending it to be vintage, because if I tear something, then I just pretend that it was supposed to be like this. Now you take a break, not too long break, but I don't know, at least half an hour. We want to let it dry. I'll put this mat on top of it and we'll put something heavy on it so that it can be flatter. I can see here that one side is coming out a bit. Maybe you can see this too, this area. It's not criminal, but I don't like it, so I will try to trim it. This area will be covered with fabric, as we know. Now I cover it with another mat and I'll put some heavy stuff like this. I think it's enough. These are my treasure boxes. Ooh. Anyway, and I'm back to work. Nice. Okay, now what you want to do is to check on the pages, and I'm talking about glue, because it's the most likely that you did mess it up and you have some pages that are stuck together. Like this, for example. And now actually you want to fix anything that you have to fix, because later we will paint them. I mean, we'll paint the edges. I do recommend you to do it just like this, page by page, one by one. One, two, three, four. Thin glue will work better for now. Now you want to make sure that you cover it with glue like properly. With these areas you also want to play like properly. I mean, you have to that's why you need this plastic. You need to pull this fabric like really tight. And the corners, if you're using some thin fabric, you don't really care about the corners, about anything. Just make sure that there are no bubbles here, that these are all flat, and that's it actually, because later we'll cover it with another layer of fabric and with a design paper. Okay, and just one more, tight and flat. This is it for now. Now we have to let it dry again properly. And again, it's better if you put some weight on it, because otherwise your covers might get banded, crooked, no, banded. So that's it for now. See you in the next video. Stay safe, healthy and creative.